All right, so apparently Roe v. Wade is being brought back up for consideration. Now, this is the same conversation that got the law passed in Texas that now says women can't get an abortion after 7 weeks. But I don't think enough people talk about how many women have PCOS, nor how many don't even know they have it. According to the CDC, it affects somewhere between 6 to 10% of women in the U.S. that are of reproductive age. This could be as many as like 5 million in the U.S. alone. One thing a lot of women have said about having PCOS is that their periods are irregular and they gain weight easily. Well, honestly, this also applies to women that don't have it, or maybe they have it but don't know it. Either way, this is kind of normal, and some symptoms of PCOS match some of pregnancy. Weight gain, missed, irregular, or light periods, acne and or oily skin all sound like some women's regular lives, but also some pregnant women too. Contrary to popular opinion, not every woman experiences sudden weight gain, lack of energy, morning sickness, or even misses their periods. You're only supposed to gain between 1 to 4 pounds like in your first trimester. That's some women finding out their period is coming. Some women don't know they're pregnant until they go to the doctor for a routine checkup or for some symptoms they thought was from something else. Like, many people have health issues they simply don't share with everyone, and how they affect them, is different. Everything I've seen, read, and even watched all say every pregnancy is not the same. So what might happen with one baby might not happen with the next. So not even like pregnancy is different for each person. Pregnancy is different for each baby, right? All that to say, I think this conversation is for women that are actually doctors, because another part that's not exclusive to PCOS is infertility and the struggles to carry a baby full term. There are plenty of women that don't have PCOS that struggle to have babies naturally, meaning through sex, so they have to get help in various forms. Some get surrogates, in vitro, and the list can go on. But in the cases where women carry the babies themselves, it can get complicated. The body might not be able to house the baby for multiple reasons, but all of them could put mommy's life at risk. This sometimes means tough calls have to be made by the parents and doctors on what they should do. I don't think a father or mother would be wrong in wanting to keep their spouse or keep living instead of having a child that could harm its mother. Also, sometimes when that child is able to come into the world, they might not have the best odds for survival or may live a good amount of time in the hospital in the early years, if not majority of their lives. Not to mention, hospitals are expensive. According to Insider, the average cost of having a baby can run you upwards of $10,000, and that's without complications. Bear in mind, the complications here could be a C-section, which many women that have children tend to agree that this is something that doctors lean heavy toward. Like, we're speculating because it's, because that's how they make more money, but we don't know for sure. We meaning women with children, which is probably why there's now this uptick in at-home births or anywhere but the hospital births. But mind you, that this was the coverage of the birth itself. It doesn't include the pre and post care. Now add on to that, you having to pay for your child to stay in there for however long that is. And that doesn't even include why they have to stay in there, because that's an additional charge. That stress, in addition to just having had a baby. Because while money might be an afterthought for some, it's a primary concern for others. This leads me to the lack of care for people that are in poverty right now, trying to take care of themselves and or their children they currently have. Not everyone falls on hard times because they're drug addicts or careless with their money, but sometimes life just hits. A father gets laid off and is struggling to find a job. A stay-at-home mom tries to get back out there, but she's been at home so long her credentials dang near expired. The whole marriage itself is stressed to high heavens. Children still need to be fed. Bills start falling behind. McDonald's only paying $11 an hour. Like, I'm getting stressed out, and it's not even my life, praise God. But sadly, this is some people's reality. So adding another child might not be feasible for that family. Also keep in mind that some of those families don't have fathers in the picture. Now, I can admit, this is not always a reason some women end up in these predicaments. There are various reasons, but if we can be honest, do we want people to have babies that don't want them? For whatever reason, we could come up with force, absent fathers, shame, self-harm, financial strain, any of it. These are some of the very reasons that some children end up abused and mistreated today. But I'll go there with you. Just give it up for adoption. I'm glad you said so. There are over 400,000 children in the foster care system right now, according to Adopt Us Kids. There are countless horror stories about people's experience in the system. Now, there are some good ones, but oftentimes people focus so much on the children that they forget the parents. They have no consideration for the fact that maybe this child would want to have its parent be a part of its life. So I don't know. Maybe try and help the parent get better. Find a job, get to therapy, whatever it is. The part that irks me so much about this is that it's Christians that tend to lead these conversations about how wrong a bye-bye baby is, but they also think there's nothing wrong with the life sentence and that Black Lives Matter is a hate group. There are some people that are congruent across the board, meaning they think my baby is wrong, life sentence is wrong, and Black Lives Matter is valid. And to those individuals, I say I respect you. But to those that pick and choose when to stand on the same stands, I don't get it. To the Christians saying that they're doing the Lord's work, please understand that you are saved, not by your own doing, but of Christ's sacrifice for your stupidity, for the mistakes you made and the life you continue to mess up. And if Christ can redeem your deepest, darkest secrets when you were ready to confess, why must these people be forced to submit? If that's what God wanted, then why do we have free will? If you truly want to help children in need, start with the ones in the foster care system or the ones in your city that are in poverty. We don't save people, we help them. So instead of trying to shame someone into keeping a baby, ask how can you help them feel more confident in having this baby.